Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am making Vietnamese spring rolls. People tend to have it during celebratory events, but I like to have it whenever I want. So without further ado, let's begin. So the first thing you want to do is soak all of the dried ingredients. You want to soak the mushroom and the black fungus in boiling water for about 30 minutes. And you want to soak the vermicelli in cold water for about the same time so that it becomes al dente but not cooked. After about 30 minutes, the mushrooms should be plumped up, nice and juicy. And the black fungus also should be very soft and pliable. So after those have been soaked for about 30 minutes, you want to drain them, squeeze as much liquid out of them as you can. Otherwise you'll end up with soggy spring rolls. But the next step is very simple. You just want to cut everything up, put it in a bowl, mix it together. So first you want to start off with chopping up the mushroom into little cubes. You want to transfer them into a large mixing bowl. So now with the black fungus, again, just roughly chop them up. You don't have to be too fine. These will provide like the best crunch ever. Transfer that to the bowl as well. And then next with the vermicellis, you just want to roughly chop them up. If you're lazy, you can just use scissors and cut them into the bowl. This doesn't have to be perfect, guys. You just want a variation of different lengths. Make sure you have a big enough bowl, guys, because I'm really doubting that this is actually big enough for the amount that I'm making, but we'll have to see. Next, you want to julienne some kohlrabis and some carrots. So they should be matchstick size, but if you're too lazy to julienne all of them, you can actually grate them. But if you grate them, make sure to squeeze out all of the liquid. But because we julienne these into matchstick size, they will be crunchy AF. Transfer these julienned pieces into your mixing bowl. We are almost at the top of the bowl. Did I forget to mention, this makes about 40 spring rolls, which is more than enough for one person. So next, just finally chop up some shallots. Also, on top of the shallots, you want to finally chop up some onions. So I have one whole brown onion, and then transfer that into your bowl as well. So now with the greens, I have some spring onions here and some coriander. Now you want to finally chop these up and add them to the bowl as well. Next, we want to deal with the seafood. So here I have some king prawns already deveined and deshelled. Alongside that I have some crab meat here. So I bought mine already deshelled, cooked and prepped. But if you do want to make yours from scratch and cook your crab, just make sure that you have enough cooked meat. Note that in the description down below I'll be leaving the amount of cooked crab meat. Because the crab meat that I have comes already sort of shredded, I'm just going to add that into the bowl. And now with the king prawns, I'm just gonna chop them up into fairly large chunks, so not too small as you can see here, because when they cook they will shrink. This recipe is basically chop everything up and put it in a bowl and mix it together. You want a variation of different textures, different sizes, and we are chopping the prawns into big chunks, not too small, because we want the prawns to be present. And when you bite into the spring roll, you want to see a little bit of orange popping out. If you decide to follow this recipe but use frozen seafood, it's always good to make sure that you defrost it properly, because after defrosting there usually is a pile of liquid. You want to squeeze out as much water as you can, otherwise the spring rolls will end up soggy. I decided that this bowl is a little bit too small for the amount that we're making, so I found the biggest bowl that I can. Just gonna transfer everything in there. Yeah, and I forgot to add into this mix, you want to add some bean sprouts. So next with the seasoning, I have some oyster sauce, chicken bouillon powder, some fish sauce, some black pepper, and next you're going to need 2 eggs. So into the mix you want to add a whole egg, 1 egg yolk, and you want to reserve 1 egg white for when you roll up the spring rolls. Then finally it's time to mix this up, get some elbow grease in there. So now this is all mixed up and now we are ready to roll. But before I commit to rolling out all of these spring rolls, I like to taste a little bit. Obviously not straight from this bowl because there is raw seafood in there. So I just like to fry up some in a pan a little bit and taste it. So with spring rolls, it is essential that you use these spring roll pastries. You can find these in Asian supermarkets and they're usually in the frozen section. So they come frozen, and of course you need to defrost them before you can actually start rolling up these spring rolls. To roll these spring rolls, you want to lay them diagonally to you, and you can probably fit about a solid 2 tablespoons of filling. So with these spring rolls, it is essential that you keep everything nice and compact. So from the start, you want to roll it over and squeeze it in. When you've reached about halfway, you can then fold in the sides, and then you can roll it up again. So once you're at the end, you want to put some egg whites with your fingers and just rub it on the tip. That way it will stick to the pastry. Here I have a deep fryer with some vegetable oil, and I've set it to around 170 degrees Celsius. So you want to deep fry these for about 9 to 12 minutes until they become crispy and golden brown. These are the final products. Taste test time. These are so crispy. Oh no. So when I have spring rolls, I normally have it with like a dipping sauce. So we call this Nuoc Cham, and it's basically just fish sauce, lemon, garlic, chilies. I'll leave the recipe to this fish sauce in the description down below. It works so well with these spring rolls. Oh. One spring roll probably has like one of your 5 a day. The amount of vegetables we put into this probably counteracts the deep fried nature of this dish. I feel like when you have spring rolls at a restaurant, they mainly just skimp out on the fillings, but when it's homemade, you can fill it up to the max. So with these, you can have them on its own, you can dip them in some Nuoc Cham, or you can have these with some rice noodles, add some Nuoc Cham, add some salad leaves, mint, coriander, cucumber, mix it up, and it becomes like a whole meal. So that is the end of this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. This is one of the recipes that I grew up with, and it's one of the recipes that I will always stick to, and it's basically my comfort food. Do let me know down below in the comments what other recipes you'd like to see. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and hit that like button, it really helps. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.